Hey, this is Paul with MakeUseOf.com, and these new professional headphones have the claim of being the most comfortable headphones ever. So are they worth checking out? If you've ever owned or used any other RØDE audio gear, you probably already know the answer. RØDE is entering a new market looking to bring its expertise in producing high-end microphones and audio recording equipment to its debut studio monitoring headphones, the NTH-100, delivering excellent build quality with a high-strength spring steel headband that's rated for 25 years of use, Alcantara and proprietary Cooltech gel memory foam for maximum comfort, and a neutral sound profile powered by powerful 40mm drivers and a closed-back design, making these ideal for professional monitoring, recording, and even casual listening. That said, being the new kids on the block, there's a lot of competition already in the $100 to $200 price point. So the question is, has RØDE done enough to make their new headphones stand out? To answer that question, let's first talk about who these are for, as well as who these might not be for. Measuring about 190mm with its width and height, it's rather large and it lacks a foldable design. And they also lack Bluetooth connectivity, which might make it difficult, if impossible, to connect with your mobile devices. Combine that again with its non-folding design, and you have a pair that's not really best suited for taking on the go. If you're willing to look past that though, you get a very modern looking and well-engineered pair that should last a long time and is perfect for longer listening sessions, whether that's mixing or editing, recording a podcast, and again, listening to casual music. Overall, you're gonna get a very enjoyable listening experience. If you're an audio aficionado and specs are very important to you, RØDE has the full list available on their site, and you can also check it out in our article too. But the most important things I want to highlight in this video review are the 40mm drivers, the 5 to 35 kHz frequency response, as well as, and this is probably the most exciting thing for me, the dual TRRS inputs. Included in your box, RØDE gives you a lot of goodies. In addition to the headphones, of course, you get this very long, 2.4mm TRS to TRS cable, a 1/4 inch to 3.5mm adapter, as well as your set of 4 color IDs. And let me just briefly tell you what that is, because that's actually pretty cool. RØDE has recently introduced this with their recent audio products, including some of their microphones too. You'll notice here at the bottom of the cable, I have the ability to take off this plastic ring, just revealing a little incision here, allowing you to switch out the colors to any of the included ones that they gave you. And not only is this gonna help me identify both ends of my cables and the device it's plugged into. Say, for example, you're running a podcast where you have a lot of inputs and outputs. Using these new colors, you can easily identify them. The last thing we have is this nice soft case. It has a little drawstring at the top and the classic RØDE logo on the front. Compared to a traditional hard case, you're not gonna get any additional protection there. And that's not to say that the build quality of the headphones are bad, but if you want the best protection possible, I would still recommend a hard shell case, especially if you're carrying this among other gear. It's just a good idea to do so. And that brings me to an important comparison. This is the hard shell case for my Sony 1000W XM4s. Horrible name, but incredible headphones. These are pretty well-known headphones, and a lot of people either have them, have tried them, or are considering them. They're not obviously a direct comparison to professional studio monitoring headphones, but for people who are maybe a little bit more casual or want a mix of that portability as well as the conveniences of having Bluetooth connectivity, they might also be considering these. Obviously, the first thing that we notice is that they fold, so they're more compact. When both cups fold in on each other, they're maybe about 2/3 of the size, but the fact that the cups actually fold inwards allows them to fit into tighter and more awkward spaces a lot easier compared to, obviously, those RØDEs. And I'll touch upon the sound quality a little bit later on in the review, but the important thing that I want to highlight right now is just the build quality as well as the overall comfort when using these for a while. So these are known for being very comfortable headphones, and you can wear them for a long period of time. Recording, editing, I've used these for hours on end. They're one of the most comfortable headphones I've ever tried. But if you recall, RØDE claims that these are the most comfortable headphones ever, period. They're definitely comfortable. We have a good amount of adjustment both in our headbands, which can be individually locked, so you can keep that placement over time and not have to adjust it each time you put it on. And there's a little bit of swivel with our ear cups too. Not too much, and definitely not as much as the Sonys, but it's there. I mean, we've got the nice memory foam cushions here, which do a good job at not pressing up against my ears. But overall, I do feel these just are more comfortable, at least to my head. If we're talking about build quality, these overall have a plastic build. I'm sure there's a metal band inside here, but plastic, plastic, plastic. RØDE, on the other hand, although these are plastic, this outer shell here, and that doesn't necessarily feel premium, the band itself is on a whole other level. And even the locking mechanisms too feel very well engineered. While obviously we can't see into the future and know for sure how long these will last, just compared to other headphones that I have tried at this price point, build quality is definitely up there. Continuing on with the details of the NTH-100s, as I just show you how much bend and give it has as I move it around, there are 3 ways to identify which is your left and your right cup. The first and most obvious for most people, it's going to be the right and left in the white block text on the inside. Looking at it from the outside, we have red on the wire to identify the right cup. And then this is also very cool, and I don't think I've ever seen this on headphones before. RØDE includes Braille on the outside for the letter R and the letter L. So for those who are visually impaired, or perhaps even if you're using these in the dark, that's a cool way to be able to identify it just by feel. I'd almost go as far as saying a lot of studio monitoring headphones have a very similar design. A lot of them are pretty bland, and for the most part, none of them really stand out. RØDE has decided it wants to stand out from the rest, and it has a very iconic design. First, it's unmistakably RØDE. We've got the RØDE symbol on both sides. We've got RØDE at the top here. Their cups have a very triangular shaped design that, again, forms over your ears very well, that it doesn't feel like it's adding any pressure on the ear itself. Give you a larger audio stage too, perhaps, but also I think they look a little bit more modern, stylish, and maybe even have a little bit more character. So for those who are looking for headphones like that, the RØDE is probably a very good choice just on that alone. Currently, these are only available in all black, but according to a couple sites, we might possibly be able to see these in different cup colors as well as headband colors. So again, going back to my last point, if you want headphones with a little bit more character, RØDE is going to step up and offer that, which is something very unique that I don't think we've really seen with the professional side of headphones before. In addition to that ergonomic and pleasant triangle shape, the NTH-100s again use a premium combination of Alcantara fabric and their proprietary Cooltech gel. The synthetic suede-like fabric is soft and breathable. It's layered above that nice gel, and it works to absorb and dispel heat to keep you feeling cool and reduce wearing fatigue. In the case that your ear cups do begin to show wear, they are user replaceable. And while RØDE doesn't explicitly say what makes these the most comfortable headphones ever, I think if we're looking at these from the perspective of being able to wear them for a very long time and stay comfortable that way, not maybe in terms of like actual feel and like pressure on the head, because again, I do think the Sonys, at least to me, still have them beat. But when I'm actually using these in a more intense situation, drumming, guitar, playing music, anything that I'm actually like sweating, these have managed to stay cooler and not make my ears feel like they're drenched in sweat. The Sonys, on the other hand, I could probably be playing for like 20 or 30 minutes and I can instantly notice that these are getting hot and my ears are really starting to sweat. Before moving on to their sound quality, I want to discuss 2 cool innovations. Once you use these features, you're like, I wish all headphones had them. First, again, is that locking mechanism, which you twist the long way to allow your band to move up and down freely. You twist horizontally in order to lock them. The other thing that's cool and will have a lot of benefits for users is if you use the included 2.4mm cable or one of the other cables that RØDE offers in different lengths, when you insert it into either of the TRS ports, you can actually just twist and lock. After you twist it, I can't pull this out. That's gonna only be available on one end. On the other end, we have threading, so we can easily twist on our 1/4" adapter and lock that in. So a couple other cool conveniences and innovations with their cabling too. So while all those features, conveniences, and design are great, pretty innovative again, they'd be meaningless if sound quality didn't match. And luckily, despite these being their debut headphones, RØDE delivers. Putting these on for the first time, you'll notice that there's a good amount of passive noise isolation. So I have a low humming sound coming from my lights. And with the Sonys, I can't hear them at all. Whereas with the RØDE, it's there, but it's faint. So at first I thought these would have them beat, but I think just with the foam that they use here, just being so much more flexible and able to contour around your face a lot better, that allows for better passive noise isolation compared to the RØDE. That said, these are still pretty impressive for blocking outside noise. The active noise isolation here is pretty good, so if you're working on an important edit or anything else that just needs to block out all outside elements as best as possible, this does a pretty good job. It's not going to be perfect, and obviously not on the same level of Sony's. It's good though. The NTH-100s feature the custom match 40mm drivers, which provide precision sound due to RØDE's emphasis on supplying accurate frequency response and extremely low distortion. The memory foam cushions grant that passive noise isolation like we just mentioned, further enhancing detail and clarity, giving the user a truly natural sounding and high quality experience. The drivers contain a custom voice coil and a phase plug inspired by the NTG5 microphone. This provides a premium listening experience for professional and personal use. And again, measured to the Sony 1000W XM4s, or whatever they're called, again, horrible name, although they're not really targeted for professional monitoring, a lot of people do use them for that purpose. But, and I'm sure a lot of people have this question, which should I choose and why? Well, these are gonna give you that more punchy sound. It's got lower bass. It's just overall more exciting. And when listening to music or movies, it's got that extra oomph that just makes you go, They're not, quite as bassy as, like Beats by Dr. Dre, but they're more in that direction compared to these. And that's not to say that these are boring, but they are definitely more flat, which is of course their intended purpose. You don't necessarily want, when you're monitoring professional audio or recording or mixing something, to have your headphones influencing and making it sound not as natural or how it would sound on a wider variety of devices. The NTH-100s provide a more accurate representation of each sound element, instrument, or vocal track in a distinct and clear performance, making it ideal for mixing, monitoring, and other aspects of content creation where you need that authentic feel. The excellent separation and reproduction is there. That said, if you want that deeper bass and more punchy sound of dominating frequencies, you can always just use an EQ on your computer or phone or whatever other device you're using to get that similar experience. It bears repeating though, these headphones are more than likely going to remain in that studio setting, or at least indoors in probably a more stationary location, just for the fact that you can't use these wirelessly on the go, and they're not as easy again to transport with you. So when it comes to audio reviews, unlike microphones where you can actually hear the difference between one microphone to the other, you can actually listen to it for yourself and determine if it's good or not. That said, in my time using these, playing drums, playing guitar, mixing music in GarageBand, listening to music, there weren't any times that I felt like these headphones were lacking. And in fact, I really enjoyed listening to them. I enjoyed wearing them. It was powerful without being overly powerful, if that makes sense. Mixing music from there and then switching to these, I could instantly tell that the Sonys were a little bit more biased in that they had the deeper bass. They were just a little bit more exciting and punchy. But again, from the perspective of the professional side, these were better. So again, at $150, there's a lot of competition. Sound quality is good. And if you know what you're expecting with that flat profile that you get at a studio monitoring headphones, these won't disappoint. These are very good, but where they stand out again are some of those important features that we mentioned. The locking mechanism on both sides, the ability to have your cable in either ear cup as well as have it locked there too. And the overall build quality here. There are several other headphones at this price point that have a lot more plastic and have bands that definitely cannot take this level of stress. The foam cups that are durable, that aren't gonna rip, as well as their ability to keep you cool for a longer period of time. Those are all the reasons you'd wanna check this out and add it to your kit. So there you have it. Thank you again for checking out this review. If you have any questions about the RØDE NTH-100s, let us know in the comments down below and we can help you out there. This has been Paul of Make Use Of, and until the next one, I'll catch you later.